And now, to business. Okay? Very hard word for an artist. It is. It is, because you know what? We didn't start this to be a business. We have an obsession. We are sick. It's art or die. We cannot survive without it. And if you can, then you're not in the right profession. Many of us became artists because of a passion. We didn't know that this passion would also have to feed us, feed our families, take care of our pension, of our elderly lives. We just wanted to do what we fell in love with. And when we did it, we just did what we thought was right. Oh, this show will work. I'm going to put now $10,000 of requisites, equipment, and whatever I need, and you'll see everybody will love it. Yeah. Did they? Did you make thousands of shows and make 1,000% on top of it, and was able to create a second and a third show, and perhaps open your own school as a result of that show? Honestly, from one show, from two shows, from three shows. And every time the heart breaks. And every time you feel terrible. And you go from the highest point to the lowest place. And you know what? I'm sure it's not only in Israel. And Ella said every artist should be a cardiologist because he breaks his heart. And you know what breaks our heart? Our passion. Now Carlos was very smart to begin with. When he took the choice to follow his passion, he said, I have a very good passion, but I'm a very bad businessman. And he took that to another place, and he let someone else deal with the business. But the problem is, we are in the 21st century, and before we do art, people like to do business. And you know what? They always do it on our backs, because we have passion for something else. We are probably the profession that is being used the most. Okay? We pass so many hands before we go on stage. From the client, to the producer, to the second producer, okay, to the organizer, and each of them eat a little piece of the pie. And with that piece of pie, they eat a little bit from our hearts. And you all feel it, and you all know it. And in Israel, for example, I can say that, okay, I can ask for my show payment as much as I want. We have something called plus. You know, plus, like mathematics. But before the plus comes a number. It can be 30 plus, it can be 60 plus, it can be 90 plus, it can be 120 plus. Depending not on us, depending on them. When I say 30, 60, 90, I'm talking about days. And when I say plus, I mean to the end of the month. So let's go for the worst period of time in the year. We finished December, January, where we get a lot of work. Comes out the end of January, February, we call it the graveyard. There's not so much activity. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's very cool, okay, for work. And you worked in the end of December, and somebody is going to pay you 90 plus. Okay? 90 plus does 3 months plus to the end of the month. It makes it 4 months till you receive your money. How will you survive January, February, March? So I came with something that at least makes me survive, with something I talked about with two of you, I'll talk with more, that keeps my muse and my inspiration and my love for what I do in the same place. Because if it would only be to perform for money, I would probably not survive, and you know it. So I made a very important choice within my business, and we talked about it before. Giving is receiving. And every mime always does some kind of work, not for money, okay, but for the heart and for the spirits. I made a vow. I'm going to do a workshop later tomorrow about medical clowning. And I made a choice not to become a professional medical clown, because this part that I do is the food for my soul. This is how I feed my soul, and my soul will survive. If my soul will survive, my body can survive, my economics can survive. So for 1 minute I'm going to stop talking about economics and money and give you a little bit of food of the soul, which I did in your country. And I want to say that the best way to connect to others is through their troubles. Charlie Chaplin said many years ago, the best comedy is tragedy. And the best food for the soul is other people's problems. When I told you all of this and my feelings, and I have a very dear colleague here, his name is Yoram, and he knows a lot of what I'm talking about. Yoram had a wonderful pantomime group for many years, and he was struggling to keep this group alive for many years. But I have to say, establishments, governmental, producers, business people do not understand our passion. They don't. They have a different language. Mimes are superhuman beings. They have a different soul than these business people. If we want to protect our soul, and if we want to protect the next generation's soul, those students, there is one rule which all of us and the organization and any future institution must totally take responsibility about. There is a reason why this is called the show business. A real reason. It doesn't matter if you're a school, a theater, or a solo artist. You are in the show business. One cannot exist without the other. You can go and study mime for 3 years in one school and go to another place and study for 5 years and another place for 2 years and keep on taking master classes and becoming super knowledgeable about mime. And you are complete retard and stupid about business. How can you be in show business if you didn't educate yourself about the second part of what you are doing? And I have to say, all acting schools, all theater schools, all dance schools, all art schools, anything to do with food of the soul, there is a problem. They cooperate with the business side. They cooperate with the producers. They cooperate with others to use the naivety and the innocence of the artists. They use the fact that people want to become artists and never give them the tools to make it real. It is our responsibility to go to all these institutions, and as teachers, it is your responsibility to make it mandatory that everybody who is doing art will take a minimum course in business management. Okay? If you can pay to the bank every month your pension, if you can pay your medical care, if you can pay your rent, anything, this you can manage, but you have no idea how to manage a career, something is, totally fucked up. But totally. And we have been going with a naive way. I'm 50 years old and I'm retard and stupid because I never went there. I never fixed this mistake to myself because I can blame the institute. But here we are in the organization where we want the Institute to be a part of something. And if there is something that will make this art stand up again, is the responsibility of treating mime as something professional. And professional means it's a business. The art is one thing. It has to be perfect. It has to be good. But it will go nowhere if you don't handle it as a real business. Okay? And I cannot make this alone. And in my country, which is a startup nation, and blah, 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 and and now they're building here in Serbia a lot of real estate and shopping malls and hotels, investing a lot. Anybody who's doing things like that is a real businessman. And here I am standing over here with a jacket of a suit. After 30-something years of performing and doing, we will watch the movie again, and you know what? I can't call myself a man who has a business. I'm an artist. Perhaps an artistical leader or spiritual leader, but it's not a business. I cannot look back at myself and say, I've built an empire. Now, Amiran here is gonna, in 1 year, have a building, okay? A building is great. The question is, how will this building be managed? Will it be a place of spiritual things and who knows what happens? Or there will be an accountant, a weekly meeting, and the way a business should be managed. So I'm here first of all to make you swear that if you swear, I mean like scam, yeah? Okay? If you meet someone young who is inspired about mime, please tell him it is not just food of the soul. It is real food for your body. And we all know our body needs good food to make the soul. So your soul should feed your body, and your body should feed your soul. Before I show you again our video, I want to say one thing. Stigma, okay, is something very, very strong all around the world. When people say mime or pantomime, we always see this white face, the stripes and the hands, and I had a lot of producers telling me, you do pantomime? I'm not interested. It's boring. It's old school. It's dead. Okay? That's what they say to my face. And it hurts, because I know it's not true. But there is one word who is killing the same word. The word pantomime is killing pantomime because of the stigma. So as much as you are going to fight for making a mime artist a serious businessman, you have to fight that the stigma is wrong. Okay? And it is our responsibility, okay, to show that the word pantomime has nothing to do with the 21st century pantomime. We have evolved. We are no longer this old school black and white looking image. We are so much beyond, like Ella said. We are everything that has to do with the body that moves in any possible language. But the business people don't understand that. And that's a very big wall to break. And it is only our responsibility, because if we break it, we will make it. And if we won't, we will stay in the same place. Again, food for the soul is something totally different than being on stage as a business. I will put the movie back again. The movie is on its own. You can copy the address if you want. It's youtube.com/Ofer Blum /Ofer Blum like this. Yeah, YouTube, not Z, but YouTube. Yeah, like this. So you can copy that. There are many clips there and things you can watch. But the leading clip, of course. Let's start the sound again. medical clowning or food for the soul. They did not deal with food for the soul. And so, except the kids that you see with their problems, there was another problem, the people that were around. And I had to inspire them that there is a different way relating to the children and how to touch their soul, not their sickness, but their lives, the part of it that they are alive. And you can see in the eyes, you can see the look when they look up. And this is the responsibility I'm talking about. This is the message. We need to light the fire in the eyes of people without saying one word. And it doesn't matter the way you do it. You just have to take a choice. You can see the reactions of the staff which are working there. They have never seen this kind of communication. In the end of my visit over there, I made a circle of hope. We played a little game, and we made a prayer, putting all our hands in the middle. And there was one girl, you saw her with a big tumor on the side of her head, which did not step into this girl did not go into the circle of hope, because she already knew her verdict. And she didn't want to go into something that is not real, which is okay. I'm a very realistic person. I believe in saying the truth whenever it is and how hard it is or how good it is. I don't want to paint anything in beautiful color. And this is why when I come to a place, I just connect to the people and live the moment as they do, and I become another moment in their lives. It's our responsibility every time we do something with our profession to leave them something as an experience that will become a part of their lives. Not just another show, not just another ticket for 10 or 15 euros, but an experience, something to stay with them for life. And it's up to us. So this is one thing. So, business or no business, success or no success. There is a little wish which I wrote when I was 14 years old. 2 years after I touched pantomime for the first time, I spoke English very well. And I was performing in the street, and I needed something to touch the people verbally after I didn't speak the whole show, because you know, street you still have to collect some money. And it's called a pitch. A pitch is the last moment before you put your head down. And I'm going to give you that pitch now. And I hope you take it with you. And this is the little thing I'm giving you, like I did the children. It goes like this. I've seen all I can all over the world. I've learned the power of a smile. Now I seek a smile of my own. If you know how to smile, tell me how. I gave all my smiles to other from will. Now I seek one of mine. Will it be a bird, a child, or a song I sing? It won't matter as long as I smile. Many people smile.